Every single day across the United Kingdom, thousands of unsuspecting used car buyers hand over their hard-earned savings for vehicles that look modern, stylish, and sensible on paper, completely unaware that they are purchasing a ticking financial time bomb. While dealerships highlight low road tax figures, handsome alloy wheels, and frugal miles per gallon, their service bays are quietly filled with engines that are failing catastrophically at ridiculously low mileages. Today we are exposing 7 incredibly popular UK cars powered by flawed engine designs that you should absolutely avoid on the second-hand market, unless you are prepared to hand thousands of pounds to a mechanic. Take a quick moment to hit the subscribe button right now so you never miss our new videos. First on our list is one of the single best-selling cars in recent British motoring history, the Ford Fiesta and Focus, equipped with the 1.0-litre EcoBoost engine, nicknamed the EcoBoom by mechanics across the country. On paper, this 3-cylinder turbocharged unit was an engineering marvel, winning international engine awards for combining small displacement efficiency with punchy performance. But underneath the valve cover lies a fatal design flaw, a wet timing belt system where the rubber timing belt runs submerged inside hot engine oil. Over time, the aggressive chemical interaction between engine oil, heat, and fuel contamination causes the rubber belt to degrade, shed teeth, and disintegrate. The fine rubber debris shed from the belt travels directly into the engine oil sump, where it completely clogs the oil pickup strainer. Once the strainer is blocked, the oil pump loses pressure, starving the turbocharger and main engine bearings of lubrication within seconds. Drivers are often given no warning until the oil pressure light flashes, at which point the engine has already seized and suffered total catastrophic failure. Replacing a wet belt before it snaps is a complex multi-hour job costing up to £1,000, and if the belt has already begun shedding rubber, the entire engine must be replaced, often costing far more than the vehicle itself is worth. Second on our list is another massive commercial success across Britain that shares the exact same fatal engineering philosophy: the Peugeot 208, 308, Citroën C3, and modern Vauxhall Corsa equipped with the 1.2-litre PureTech engine. Just like Ford's EcoBoost, Stellantis designed the 3-cylinder PureTech with a wet timing belt running inside the engine oil to reduce friction and lower CO2 emissions on paper. In real-world UK driving conditions, particularly on short urban journeys where unburnt petrol dilutes the engine oil, the rubber timing belt swells, cracks, and degrades far earlier than official service intervals suggest. As the belt disintegrates, rubber flakes circulate through the lubrication system, not only clogging the oil strainer and destroying the engine, but also migrating into the vacuum pump that powers the braking assistance system. Drivers have experienced a sudden loss of power braking alongside catastrophic engine failure. Even if you change the oil frequently, these engines consume excessive amounts of oil as they age due to carbon buildup around the piston rings. Unless a used example has a meticulously documented history of belt replacements and frequent oil changes using updated oil specifications, buying a used 1.2 PureTech is an immense financial gamble. Third on our list, the Nissan Qashqai and Juke fitted with the 1.2-litre DIGT petrol engine, also sold as the 1.2 TCE in Renault models. This small, turbocharged 4-cylinder engine was introduced to replace older naturally aspirated units, promising great fuel economy and smooth power delivery. Instead, it became infamous for severe oil consumption and premature timing chain failure, due to low-tension piston ring design and software issues that create excessive vacuum in the intake manifold. These engines burn through engine oil at an alarming rate, often consuming a litre of oil every few hundred miles without showing obvious blue smoke from the exhaust. Unsuspecting owners who do not check their dipstick weekly quickly run the engine on low oil, causing the timing chain to stretch, rattle, and eventually jump timing, bending valves and destroying the engine head. In addition, heavy carbon deposits accumulate on the intake valves because of direct fuel injection, causing misfires and rough running that cost hundreds to blast clean. If you are browsing used Qashqais, skip the 1.2 DIGT entirely and opt for the older, far more reliable 1.6 petrol or diesel units instead. Fourth on our list is a luxury favourite, the Land Rover Discovery Sport, Range Rover Evoque, and Jaguar XE, powered by the 2.0-litre Ingenium diesel engine. Developed in-house to replace outsourced units, the 2-litre Ingenium diesel suffers from two catastrophic engineering design flaws. First, the timing chain assembly is mounted at the very back of the engine, right against the gearbox flywheel. When the plastic timing chain guides wear out and the chain stretches, replacing it requires pulling the entire engine and gearbox out of the car, resulting in labour bills that frequently exceed £2,000 to £3,000. Second, the emissions system design leads to severe diesel dilution in the engine oil. When the vehicle attempts to regenerate its diesel particulate filter during short journeys, unburnt diesel fuel washes down the cylinder walls and mixes directly into the crankcase oil. This thins the oil, ruining its lubricating properties and destroying the engine balance shaft bearings, turbocharger and main crankshaft. If you see a used Evoque or Discovery Sport with an Ingenium diesel engine selling suspiciously cheap, walk away immediately. Fifth on our list is a hot hatchback favourite, the second-generation Mini Cooper S and Peugeot 208 GTi, powered by the 1.6-litre Prince engine, developed jointly by BMW and PSA. While this turbocharged engine delivers brilliant performance when brand new, it is universally loathed by mechanics for its horrific long-term reliability. The timing chain tensioner is notoriously weak, leading to severe chain stretch, timing slips, and the infamous death rattle on startup that signals impending valve destruction. Furthermore, the Prince engine suffers from chronic oil consumption caused by failing valve stem seals and stuck piston rings, meaning the engine can run dry without the driver noticing until the low oil light comes on. Add to that frequent failures of the high-pressure fuel pump, thermostat housing leaks, and heavy carbon buildup on the intake valves, and you have a vehicle that requires constant expensive maintenance just to keep running smoothly. If you must buy a second-generation Mini, seek out the naturally aspirated non-turbo models or budget several £1,000s for inevitable engine repairs. Sixth on our list is a staple of British motorways and fleet drivers, the Vauxhall Insignia and Astra, equipped with the 2.0-litre CDTi diesel engine, specifically the A2ODTH engine code. For years, these cars were bought up in huge numbers by commuters looking for comfortable, high-mileage cruising. However, hidden inside the oil sump is a small rubber seal connecting the oil pickup pipe to the oil pump. Over time, heat cycles and engine oil cause this rubber seal to harden, shrink, and crack. When the seal degrades, the oil pump begins sucking air instead of oil from the sump, especially during cold starts in winter. The engine suffers severe oil starvation for the first few seconds of running, wearing down the crankshaft bearings and turbocharger bearings quietly in the background. Eventually, the low oil pressure causes the engine to spin a main bearing or seize completely while driving at motorway speeds. The tragic part is that the rubber seal itself costs less than £20, but replacing it requires dropping the subframe and oil sump, a labour-intensive job that many owners ignore until the engine is completely destroyed. Seventh and final on our list is a vehicle from the Volkswagen Group, the 1.4-litre TSI twin-charger engine found in the VW Golf Mark 6, Polo GTI, Seat Ibiza FR and Audi A1. Designed to produce high power output from a small capacity by combining a supercharger for low-end response with a turbocharger for high-end power, the EA111 twin-charger engine was far too complex for its own good. The extreme heat and cylinder pressures generated by the twin charging system caused the thin metal piston ringlands to crack and break apart, leading to a total loss of compression in individual cylinders. Additionally, the early timing chain system on the EA111 engine is prone to stretching and jumping teeth due to a faulty hydraulic tensioner, causing pistons to collide with valves. Coupled with delicate supercharger magnetic clutch failures and heavy oil consumption, these engines have a frighteningly high rate of catastrophic failure. If you are shopping for a used VW Group hatchback, steer clear of the twin-charged 1.4 TSI and look for the simpler single-turbo EA211 engines introduced in later years instead. Navigating the second-hand car market in the UK requires looking far past shiny paintwork and impressive fuel economy claims. Every single one of these 7 vehicles was engineered to meet strict emissions targets and perform well during a short initial leasing period, but their long-term mechanical survival was treated as an afterthought. Buying a used car with a fundamentally flawed engine design will quickly transform an apparent second-hand bargain into a financial disaster. Always research the exact engine code, check service histories for critical component replacements, and prioritize proven mechanical durability over trendy styling. If you found this guide helpful, like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and click the video on your screen right now for more practical motoring advice that protects your wallet.